An airport barely makes any money from the planes landing on its runways. It makes its real money from you. The landing fees airlines pay are tightly regulated, and they often barely cover the cost of running the runway. So the runway, the gates, the planes, to the airport, all of that is close to a break-even hassle. The real profit hides somewhere else entirely, in the long, winding walk between the front door and your gate. Think about the last time you flew. Why was that walk so long and so crowded with shops? And why did the path to your gate funnel you, with no choice at all, straight through a giant duty-free store? None of that is an accident. An airport isn't really a transport hub. It's a shopping mall with runways attached. And you are not just a passenger. To the airport, you're a shopper who happens to have a plane to catch. To see how it works, split the airport's money into two very different piles. The first pile is aeronautical revenue, the landing fees and charges paid by the airlines themselves. It's regulated, it's thin, and at many airports it barely keeps the lights on above the runway. The second pile is non-aeronautical revenue, and this is where the airport actually gets rich. Shops, duty-free, restaurants, parking, car rental, advertising, everything that has nothing to do with flying. At many major airports, this second pile brings in around half of all the money and most of the profit. So the whole building quietly has one real job: to keep you inside, spending for as long as possible. And every single part of your journey through it is shaped very carefully around that one goal. It starts before you even reach security, with parking that can cost more per day than your actual flight. Parking is one of the highest margin things an airport sells, and it sells an enormous amount of it. Then comes security, a choke point that does something very useful for all the shops beyond it. You arrive early, afraid of missing your flight. You rush through security, and then, suddenly, you wait. That gap, early arrival minus a fast security line, leaves you with time on your hands and nothing to do. Retailers even have a name for the space right after security. They call it the decompression zone. You've just been screened, prodded, and stressed. Now you're through, relieved, and finally ready to relax. And a relaxed, relieved person, with time to kill and a card in their pocket, is the perfect customer. So what greets you the second you clear security? Not your gate, a gleaming wall of shops. At many airports, the path physically forces you to walk straight through the duty-free store itself. There's often no way around it. To reach your gate, you must first walk past the perfume and the whiskey. The store is laid out like a maze, gently steering you past the most tempting, highest margin products. Duty-free sounds like a guaranteed bargain. Very often, it simply isn't much cheaper at all. The savings are real on a few things, like alcohol and perfume. On plenty of the rest, the discount vanishes. But the phrase does its job. It makes buying feel smart, even when you never plan to buy anything. Past the shops, you finally start looking for your gate. And here, the design gets even cleverer. Notice something quietly missing from most airport terminals. There are almost no clocks on the walls. Just like a casino, the airport would much rather you lost track of time while you browse. The departure boards are there, of course, but often placed so you drift through retail just to read them. Seating near the gates is often sparse and uncomfortable, quietly nudging you back toward the cafes and shops, because a passenger sitting quietly at the gate makes the airport almost nothing at all. A passenger wandering the shops, buying a coffee and a magazine, makes it money every single minute. Even the food is part of the machine. Once you're past security, you become a captive audience. You can't leave to find a cheaper meal, so the prices climb, and you pay them anyway. Now let's step quietly into the room where all of this is actually planned. Not an aviation office full of flight paths, a retail design meeting full of maps of your footsteps. Up on the wall, one question: how do we make every traveler walk past as many shops as possible? So they stretch the walk, they bend the path, they put the essentials far from the entrance. The gate you need is placed far away, so the journey there quietly becomes a guided shopping tour. The duty-free sits exactly where you can't avoid it, right at the pinch point just after security. The lighting, the smell of perfume, the gleaming rows of bottles, all tuned to slow your feet right down. Nothing about your walk to the gate is random. Every turn was drawn to earn a little bit more. Let's put the whole business on a single line, the way the airport really sees it. Use the flight as the bait, trap the traveler in time, then route them slowly past everything for sale. The plane ticket just gets you in the door. The building's real income starts the moment you're inside. It's the same logic as the supermarket that hides the milk, just wrapped around a boarding pass. Keep the essential thing far away, and make the path to it long, winding, and full of temptation. The perfect airport isn't the one that moves you fastest, it's the one that keeps you shopping longest. Now think back to your own last trip through a big, busy airport terminal. You didn't wander through those shops by chance. You were routed through them, step by careful step. The long walk, the duty-free you couldn't skip, the missing clocks, none of it was for your comfort. It was all built to turn your waiting time into the airport's selling time. And none of this is illegal or even hidden. The shops are obvious. The design behind them simply isn't. The airport never forces you to buy a single thing. It just makes buying the easy, natural default. You are always free to walk straight to your gate and buy nothing at all. Almost nobody does, because the whole space was designed, quietly, to make that the harder, lonelier choice. So the next time a walk to your gate feels strangely, endlessly long, you'll know exactly why. It isn't bad planning at all. It's very good planning. It just wasn't planned around you. The flight was never really the product. Your time and your attention always were. A cheap-ish ticket to fill the terminal, a long walk to expose you, a trapped hour to make you spend, fill a building with people who have time, money, and nowhere else to go, and profit almost takes care of itself. And the busiest, most stressful place you pass through becomes one of the most profitable of all. People have to fly. Someone simply had to design the walk so you'd shop all along the way. And design it they did, one long corridor, one unavoidable store, one missing clock at a time. So the next time you're funneled straight through duty-free, you'll see the machine for what it really is. You're not lost, and you're not weak-willed. You're simply walking the route someone drew for you. The gate was never far away by accident. The distance itself was the product. You didn't overspend because you're somehow careless with money whenever you're in airports. You spent because you were placed, relaxed, and waiting exactly where spending felt the easiest. A flight to get you in, a wait to slow you down, a long, shiny walk to gently open your wallet. An ordinary building you rush through in a hurry, quietly built as a machine for selling. A whole industry that flies planes, mostly so it can run the shops all around them. So the next time you finally reach your gate, tired and a little lighter in the wallet, remember, you didn't just pass through an airport. You were walked, on purpose, through a store. You came to catch a flight. They built the whole building to catch you.